I mean, this it looks way more alive than Bloodlines. Oh shit! Feels like if you like Fallout, you would like this game. I just finished The Outer Worlds 2 yesterday, and it was a really long game. I clocked in out of 34 hours to finish, but then towards the end, I did just start to go straight to the main quest because I felt like I saw most of everything that I wanted to see. I enjoyed everything that I went through, and I never felt like at any point that I severely disliked the game. Overall, I think I am thoroughly, I'm quite impressed with this game. I mean, I don't think it's no Baldur's Gate 3, but it's actually better than I expected. Most of my disappointments and annoyances were very minor things, which I will start with so that we could just get that out of the way. One, I did not like most of so there were some issues with the UI for weapon modding that I thought wasn't very intuitive because it was just, I think they could have used some like nicer matching icons and matching colors to see and like to be able to sort through a vendor's weapon mods a little better and then like being able to see through it because it was kind of hard to tell what goes on what and what part goes on what part. So every gun has that gun specific kind of mods. As far as I know, there wasn't like a universal gun mod that you could apply to every gun. It was like if it was an assault rifle, you could only use assault rifle mods. And then in the assault rifle mods, it was either barrel, sight, or something else. And they didn't really have like matching pictures that when you hovered over the gun told you what picture correlated to what. So if they had a barrel mod, it just said barrel, but then when you look at the shop, it was a picture. So then you had to do an extra amount of thinking to be like, okay, I'm gonna hover over this, okay, it's called a barrel, and then sometimes they were called different else, something else. Like they might not even have the word barrel in the weapon mod. So it didn't like, I personally wanted a more streamlined method where if I just look, I can tell immediately, okay, I wanted a sight and a barrel for my assault weapon, but then I had to like hover over all of them and like read the names and then double check and stuff and then go back. But this is just a UI issue that it wasn't super intuitive, but it really wasn't a big deal. And I didn't even do that much weapon modding until like the very end anyways. Another thing, again, is also to do the UI is when you're buying ammo and grenades in the vendor, it doesn't tell you how many you have, which I kind of wanted to know with grenades because I wanted to know how many grenades I had, so how many if I needed to buy more. But then when you craft grenades or ammo, it tells you how much you have. So I'm like, why did you not just also tell me how much of a grenade or ammo I had when I'm buying it? But then when I'm crafting it, I can see how much. Again, that's another very minor thing. It's just not a big deal at all, but it's like, well, I feel like if you added it, nobody would complain that you added it. It's just a nice QOL. So I did encounter some minor bugs, but it wasn't like, it doesn't seem like it was a lot. It just, there were a little bit, but not a serious game breaking amount as far as I could tell. So none of the bugs I got were seriously game breaking, but there was some glitchiness and some soft locking. Little restart, fixed it, great. Honestly, these were my worst thing. Like, I don't have anything else to say about what I didn't like about it. Yeah, I didn't really have that many criticisms, so get that out of the way. I think for me to break down why I thought this game was good, I have to explain that the writing is good. And for me to explain the writing is good, I have to explain to you how the writing is good. And for me to explain how the writing is good, I have to give you some insight into the plot and the factions and the world building. And so let me explain. The overall plot of the game is you are an agent at the very beginning who got tasked to do a covert mission to get information from this place. Something goes wrong, it blows up, and you're like, oh fuck, turns out somebody betrayed you, and you kind of spent your entire journey finding out why you were betrayed, why did the mission go wrong, why did they want to blow it up, and what does this have to do with the entire political landscape of the game, of like the world that the game takes place in. So already in the very beginning, it's established that there's something that you need to find out. Why were you betrayed? Why did they want to blow it up? What is the intention behind all the factions? So that brings me to that there are 5 major factions. I would say like technically 4 major factions. One is the Earth's Directorate. So the Earth's Directorate is, if you're familiar, Warhammer 40k is like the Imperium, basically. They're kind of like the overall human task force that want to colonize everywhere, and they're very like, they're kind of like cops a little bit. Very, okay, we are human, we are going to impose on you our culture, and you will follow, and we will colonize you. The Earth Directorate is what hires you in the very beginning. You are aligned with the Earth Directorate since the beginning. And then the Protectorate is kind of like Caesar's Legion. They're like very culty. They're very pro-brainwashing. They're very fascist, and they're very, if you speak out of line, you get lobotomized kind of way. And then you have the Order, and the Order are basically giga math nerds. The Order used to be part of the Protectorate, but they split. They had a divorce. The Order were the people who believe in... They're just fucking nerds that believe in solving equations will give them the answer to everything in the world. To predicting the future, to predicting what will happen, to basically solving the equation. They'll figure out what happens at the end of the world and ultimately solve all suffering and famine and any kind of like bad stuff. And then you have cultists, which were people that worship the rift anomalies that started appearing after the explosion. These people just like anarchy, and they're like, okay, we need to have the rift consume all of us because we all need to die and we should embrace chaos. So the cultists are kind of whatever. And then you have Auntie's Choice. Auntie's Choice is a giga monopoly company that was caused from a merge of Auntie Cleo's and Spacer's Choice. These are two brands in the first game. So what happened between that was they're basically two very giga corporate brands that merged into one to become an even worse corporate brand. One of the reasons why I thought the world building was really well done was because all these factions were very weird people. There's not a single one of them that is like kind of normal. I would say the only like slightly normal one is the Earth's Directorate, but then it's like, okay, there are people in the world who have consumed a lot of Warhammer content and still believe that the Imperium are the good guys. But that's not really accurate because the truth is that they're all horrible. But then some are more horrible than others. And that is one of my favorite, like world building things is everybody kind of sucks ass, but some people suck more ass. Because this way, it makes it so much more interesting for you to gauge morality and like how you want to side with something. So when you're actually playing an RPG game where you have to decide things, you have to be very clear on where you stand. Is this bad option better, or is this worse option better, and why?
I mean, the fact that I even care enough about these characters to want to ask about how they feel about each other is already a testament to the fact that these characters are way more interesting than Bloodlines 2.
And that's what makes your journey as a normal player through the Outer Worlds 2 interesting, because you're like, you meet someone that's Protector, and you're like, okay, what is wrong with you? You meet someone that's anti-choice, and you're like, okay, what is wrong with you? You meet someone from the Order, and you're like, what is wrong with you? And they are all very quirky in their own unique way, because this is corporate, this is religious zealot, and these guys are just fucking nerds. These are all very interesting factions because they're all very interestingly fucked up in their own way. So that's why I think they did a really good job with writing interesting factions with the world building, and that's like my 5th time saying that. When you have companions, so the game works by you can have 2 companions with you at all times. The companions from each of these factions, you can convince them to basically not like the faction that they are from as much through a companion quest, which will make them severely question their beliefs. And how you respond to your companions and their attitude towards their faction will affect how they are at the very end. This actually affects their personality and what they believe in. So that means that the companion side quests also have an all-around global tie-in to the entire story. It's not just like a one-off vacuum side thing, which I think is really well done when they are able to tie everything together in like every way possible. Companions, factions, world building, to the final quest. They did a really good job with the companions because not only are the backstories and how you affect them actually matters in this RPG, they also give contextual dialogue and relevant dialogue to characters that you're talking to. I feel like that should be the bare minimum for all RPG games that deal with companions, but that's just not true. So now I feel like I have to praise that they actually did that. That your choices in changing a character along with you on your journey actually matter. That's crazy. Like, good job. There's games where you'll have companions and you will commit genocide against their people and they won't even say anything about it. And then you're just like, do you care? And then they're like, no, I only have 2 repeating lines of dialogue, sorry.
Another summon has sent word that they need our help. Mark the location on your map.
Let me go into the gameplay also. Gameplay was good. I thought the gameplay was really good. It was really smooth. There was, like I said yesterday, there was like at no point in the game where I wanted to move or do a certain action and it didn't let me. Like,
This all feels very smooth. Like, as in, like, I can just do what I want to do, and the transition of moving from shooting to jumping to activating a skill all feels very streamlined.
the double jumping into the slow motion, into the shooting, aiming down sights, everything was super duper streamlined, very smooth. I didn't feel like I had to fight the controls. I didn't feel like any of the animations were awkward at any time. And the shooting was very, very smooth. And personally, I was happy with the amount of weapons and the amount of guns. Like, there's a melee, there's different types of guns. Generally, though, I don't really change what kind of guns I use that much. But I thought it was good. Combat, very good. Like, I don't have anything to complain about the combat. I wasn't, like, trying every single weapon I found, but I did use a couple. And I also did have a melee, even though I didn't really have a melee build because I was a glass cannon. I thought that was all great. Also, the companions also have skills, have active skills that you can use, and you can build like a build where you're pretty much spamming companion abilities on cooldown also works. And if you can upgrade, when you upgrade your companion abilities and like their little skill tree, because they have a very small skill tree that you can do, it also actually changes what they look like slightly. It changes like the color of their armor trim, which is like a nice detail. They didn't have to add that at all, but they did, which I think again shows the amount of care that they put into this game. Oh yeah, that was the thing, is like I felt like this game didn't really have a lot of filler. Pretty much every side quest that I did, I was like, oh, this made me understand why the Order has these ideals. This made me understand why the Protectorate was like this. Which brings me to the point that if you don't really care for world building, well, one, I don't know why you're playing an RPG game. Two, it's not going to be as interesting to you because yes, this game is extremely dialogue and text heavy because, like I said, the intrigue that they want you to build comes from understanding and wanting to understand more of the lore behind every faction and the world and why you are setting out to do the thing that you are setting out, basically the main quest line. If you don't question that or you care about it, then the only thing that you have going on for you is gameplay goog, and if that's good enough for you, that's fine. But for people that like love story and world building and strong narrative focus, this game did a really good job at it, and I think that is worth praise. Other things is the humor. The humor in the game I thought was really well done. It's more there was a couple of really funny parts where it's not like a kind of way, but it was like a there was a lot of those like chuckle moments.
So your superiors order you to thrive?
No. It's just something you can do on your own. You'll have bosses and employers.
Okay, this game's definitely funnier than the first game.
The writing team knows what they're doing, that they could have all this charm put in, this charm being like, it's entertaining. I didn't find, you know, the buzz term is a lot of people will be like, oh, the writing is quippy, there's quips. It's like, no, I didn't find that to be the case with this game at all. I found that the humor was actually very, like, charming, and they knew when to, it was a healthy dose of it, and it wasn't too much. Other notes of very good, interesting, innovative gameplay was I found that the flaw mechanic in the game, I've never seen anything like that before, and I thought it was really funny, was if you do something repeatedly, for example, you crouch a lot, you will get a pop-up that says the Earth Director found a flaw in you. You crouch a lot, and they will give you an option to take this flaw.
Wait, crouching plus 50% crouch speed? Crouching emits a 10-meter radius sound that hostiles can hear and investigate because it's crunchy.
Yeah, it's very. I thought that was like really funny. I think a lot of games and a lot of devs have to learn is you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You just have to put your whole pussy into the writing. You have to put your whole pussy into making a good story. A great story can carry mid gameplay, but great gameplay cannot carry a mid story. You will get bored. Anything else? I don't have any major negative things to say about this game. I think that's most of it. Yeah, overall, I give this game a solid 8.5 out of 10. Very good. Approved. Really good RPG.